Okay, we are live with Agonjetsi.
Sure.
All right, so let's put your chart in. Agonjetsi. When's your birthday?
Oh, sorry. Uh-huh.
When's your birthday?
19th of April. 19th April.
Which year?
1991.
Okay, what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. And where?
Lilongwe,
Can
Malawi.
you spell that?
Lilingwe.
Lilongwe. Okay, and where?
I'm sorry. Not Lilongwe. I said Lilongwe.
Lilo. Okay, Ngwe. And which country?
Malawi.
Malawi. Lilongwe. Okay. Okay, very good. So, Agonjetsi, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Like, okay, be specific. Like which side? Of course, I have many, many sides.
There are many. Okay. How do you live? What do you do for fun?
Okay. So I'm in Malawi, Lilongwe, Africa. I like playing soccer. I enjoy soccer so much with my friends. That's on weekends mostly. And during the week, I'm a businessman. Mostly, I'm doing agribusiness. So yeah, that's a brief description of my life.
Okay, you said you're a businessman. What kind of business?
Agribusiness.
Like
Uh,
agriculture.
yes, exactly.
Okay. So what does it mean to be an agribusiness?
Like I supply farm produce. Um, I also have two shops with a friend. So I'm in partnership. I'm not a sole trader, so I do with a friend. So we supply farm produce, and also we have two shops where we sell like on a retail price. For example, we supply rice. So there's rice, and also we have beans. We have groundnuts. So those are the things that we trade.
Mm-hmm. So beans, brown nuts, and rice. That is your specialty.
Exactly.
And you have two shops, and they're small shops, like corner stores or big shops.
There are small shops.
Okay.
Small shops.
And what does it mean that you supply produce? Where do you get the produce from?
We buy direct from farmers. So sometimes like we don't we are not the producers of rice together with my friend. So what we do, we go to the farmers and we buy from them, and then we sell at a profit. So more like traders, but for groundnuts, we are the ones producing. And beans, we are the ones producing. So maybe this year we are growing into starting to also start producing rice on ourselves by ourselves.
Hmm.
Yeah, sure.
But the groundnuts and the beans you produce.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Hmm. So you're one of the farmers.
Yeah, though I'm based in town. So what we do is you don't literally you're not hands on, but you are maybe the financier, and the land is yours. So that's what we do.
Uh-huh. Wait, so the land is yours. You're the financier. Is that right?
Like we have the land, and we'll just give the money to people that will do the plowing and everything for us. So
Uh-huh.
all the hard work will be done by other people, and we'll pay for it.
Okay, got it. So you own the land
Yeah,
and you rent it out to people or you employ people on your land and they're the ones to actually do the farming work.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I
Uh-huh.
employ people on our land, and then people work for us, and then we pay them. That's what we
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're kind of the boss.
do. I don't regard myself in that way, but uh, anyway, yeah, if that's it, yeah, that's it. Anyway,
Okay. Where does
I'm
this
the leader.
land come? Huh?
I use the word leader. I use the word leader. I'm the leader.
Leader. Okay. Right. Okay, that's better. Um, how did you get there? How did you get those lands? Are they yours? Did they belong to your family? Did you buy them?
Like one land we have is in Zomba, so that land is from family. So I only have a little portion, and so the other land is me and my friend. Now we bought it in Doha. Doha is another district from away from Lilongwe, but very close.
Goa, we're still talking about Malawi, not Goa, India, right?
Oh yeah, Malawi, still Malawi.
Malawi. Okay. Okay, so you have one land from your family, a little portion, the other land you have with your friend in Goa. Is that right?
Doha, Dowa, Doha. We call it
Doha,
Doha.
Doha. Okay, Doha, Doha. Okay. And so what is your so you basically tell people what to do and you also do the trading in the marketplace in the village or what? In the city.
Training is done in the city. So all my life I've been based in the city. I have networks in the city, so Um, um, uh, I use that as an advantage to my advantage in doing business. The network that I have,
What do you have that you have what? The
the
network.
network. Yes, I mean I've been in town for most part of my life, and I'm in the city. I mean, and also before business, getting into business, I was employed. So I have worked with BetCure International Hospital before, and I've also worked with Sigerege Beach Resort uh, until 2024, from 2021. So I resigned in 2024 and got into
Okay,
business.
to start your own business. Okay. There's a few things that start to come up for me now. One of
Okay.
them is Saturn that is in your fourth house in Aquarius.
Yes. Mhm.
And the reason for that is because you said you've been in that city for pretty much all your life. And what you make
Mhm.
really good use of is the network that you have there. So I guess you
Yeah.
know all the people in the city just from having been there all your life.
Yeah, I know most people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you understand why I would say that that's Saturn in Aquarius in your fourth?
No, I was only trying to. I don't know. I don't really understand, but I heard from someone saying Saturn in your fourth house is not a good thing. It means you're gonna have a very hard life. So part of my experience, like 2024, my things when I got into business, I started with losing money. So I lost money in 2024. We were trying to buy a machine from South Africa, some machine we were importing, and then we applied for forex, and then we sent the money, but we never got the thing. After that, we got into a certain another business with my friend, and then things were not really. Well, I mean, things started picking up, and then we were into business, and then we started to blooming. We started blooming, and we were enjoying the fruits of business. Come 2025, early 2025, things started going down again, and then the graph went down. It's been like up and down a roller coaster sort of. So I started to ask. I started asking questions, and I was like, okay, what's really going on in my life, and is there something I need to understand? So that's when I started to get into astrology and numerology. And then when I got to that Saturn is in the fourth house, I'm still trying to understand what it really means and with my experiences. So I'm open to to being helped and to learn from you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Well, the chart takes some time to put together because it's a representation of your whole life and everything that you've experienced. And for me, someone that doesn't know you at all, I need to have some basic information to start building the picture of your chart. That's why I'm asking you all the questions. And that's why I wait to introduce the astrology until I feel something very strongly and until I have some context about what you do. And so,
Okay.
for example,
Mhm.
and it's because everyone is so different. I'm always learning because people have different jobs, different lives, and I always have to figure out what's happening in the chart. And it's not that complicated actually, but I just need some time. And so,
Mhm.
the other thing that I notice is the connection of your Saturn to your Venus in the eighth house Gemini. And this is
Mhm.
because, as I've understood, for example, in this latest iteration of your business adventure, you are doing most of it together with a friend. So what
Yes.
that tells me is you guys are sharing information, you guys are sharing assets, you guys are sharing business responsibilities. So obviously you get pretty close to that person and you end up having a more serious relationship, right? A more
Mm.
binding relationship. And I guess you
Yes.
guys do a lot of work together socially, like you communicate with a lot of people between each other, people from the
Mhm.
city, people from other countries, right? Because it's air signs, Gemini and Aquarius. And it's
Mhm.
Venus and Saturn, so you're doing business with someone, but it's maybe even a family friend, someone that's close to you, because there's the fourth house involved. The eighth house in this case is that you do business together with them. So it's not a solo enterprise. You're not a
Mhm.
solopreneur. You're doing it together with someone else. Does it all make
Yeah.
sense so far?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I'm pieces.
Okay. But you said that things have been going up and down financially. Also, that is what I understood.
Yes. I'll give you. Okay. Here's a brief story. Like when I was learning numerology, so this I was just doing. It's self-taught. I was just reading books. So when I was reading numerology, I understood that life goes in circles. And then when this was last year, when I look back to 9 years back, from 2025, uh, that it will take you to 2016. And then 2016, I experienced something different in my life. Life went down. Um, I lost a lot of things. I lost a lot of things in 2016. And then the same thing happened in 2025, like 9 years later. So I've been like, the question has been, I feel like I have something big inside me, but to get it on the ground running, it's hard. Like I have great ideas, I have good intentions, but then to get it on the ground running, it has been hard for me. And then that experience when it happened last year, I was like, why this again? So it's been, you know, up and down kind of a
So what
feeling.
exactly happened last year?
Like last year, okay, all the connections we had, they were just being terminated. We lost money as well last year. People were not meeting their end of the deals. Like we had so many agreements cancelled. Uh, that's
Uh-huh. Okay,
yeah.
and that
So
was in 2020, so the entire 2025 you had that happening to you.
Yeah, most part of 2025 has been hard, like in my experience. And if I
Okay,
can liken it,
I have a pretty good idea now about what's happening. I'm going to show you in a moment. But you said had so many agreements canceled, so I guess those were business agreements.
yeah, business agreements were cancelled, causing us to lose a lot of money. So, and we've been struggling. We went into debt, in business. We went into debt, and some of the debts were still paid off now. Like yesterday, we paid another day with my friend, and we're like, finally, we are almost there. But yeah, from last year, it hasn't been well with us.
So you're still paying off debt.
Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
that's in
And what
personal
are
life.
what is the nature of the meetings that have been canceled or the agreements? Is it that you would supply someone with who can you give an example?
Yeah, we okay. We agreed to supply rice,
Mm-hmm.
some hotel, and also um, we we had an agreement to distribute fertilizer,
To distribute what?
fertilizer.
What's that?
Fertilizer. Okay. How do I say it? This okay. It's this source mineral phosphate that you add to your plants.
Aha, fertilizer. Okay.
Fertilizer.
Okay. So you had an agreement to
Yeah,
distribute fertilizer to who and what happened?
and okay. So come December last year, we received a large amounts of money from our clients, and then we had this deal from a big company. I'll not mention here for some privacy. And then we were supposed to supply fertilizer, maybe to over 600 bags. And then when we got the money, we got about 350 bags. We got money for 350 bags, which was around 20 something million Malawi kwacha. But then all that was cancelled because we couldn't deliver even 50 bags. Um, the fertilizer was nowhere to be found from where we were getting. The deals were cancelled unexpectedly. So yeah,
Wait a
it was
minute. Why could you not deliver even $50?
because we could not get bags of fertilizer after December from where we were collecting from.
Why not?
They just cancelled the deals. They never explained. Until now, we're still having issues with them. So we lodged our
Okay, so
complaints.
bad business basically.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. I see. Okay, I think I'm starting to get a pretty clear picture. I have one more question that I need to clarify. It is about what is your vision? Why are you doing all of this business? What is inspiring you to try and sell fertilizer and to supply rice and groundnuts? Like, what makes you do that? What's the vision?
Okay. My vision. I'm saying mine. Yeah, because I think the partnership thing I'll bring it on later. But I'll start with my vision. So my individual vision is I see myself as someone who is into health related issues. I need to do something to do with health life. So
With what?
health issues.
Health issues. Okay.
So I'm getting into health. I have this passion to understand health, like the human anatomy kind of thing. So my goal is to supply herbals and also um, contribute to healthy living, come up with menus, living menus, introduce them so that people are getting healthy meals in Malawi and beyond. So
Hmm.
that's my goal. That's where I'm going. So if I get into farming, farming is speaking into that bigger dream. That's where I'm going. So, and this year I'm not doing fertilizer because I've also changed my understanding. So I will not be doing chemicals because I want to do a chemical free.
Uh-huh.
So last year I was doing chemicals, but this year we are not doing chemicals. So it's organic farming. So I'm into organic farming so that it feeds into that bigger picture of the herbicide that I'm taking.
Okay. See, that is what I needed to know about. Okay. Um, okay, I have quite a few things to reflect to you now. I'm gonna try. Yeah, and I'll have many more questions afterwards, but let's just start with what I've picked up. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Let's see. Where do I want to begin? Let's remove Pluto. Let's remove these two. Let's remove the Sun and Mercury. In fact, let's just do it like let's just start again with Saturn and Venus.
Okay.
Okay. So when we're talking about Aquarius, that is about many people being involved, like a network of humans. So working with suppliers, working with clients, working with other producers and people in the business world, working in the marketplace, following all the laws, having trade agreements. Yeah, so working all together as an organization. And Aquarius also represents the people, like the people of Malawi, for instance, right?
Okay.
And the fourth
Mhm.
house is your home country or your home city. So this here, now I see how you're kind of bound to Malawi because your big idea is to provide healthy meals for the entire country and beyond. So what I see is that you're kind of the overarching theme for you is also social change in Malawi. That is what I just felt. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. So that you have business with all of these different people. And obviously when you do business and you have agreements, you have to be in constant contact. You have to send over like when you want to do business with someone, you tell them this is how I want to do business. This is what I want to sell. This is the price at which I want to sell, right? So you have more firm, what's the word? Contractual relationships. Okay, so
Mhm.
there's your Venus Saturn that are together,
Mhm.
right? So this is all of the people that you're working with at the business level and all of the communication that you have with them, whether that's through email or through a phone call or not receiving communication at all. And when it's Venus and Saturn together, what it often indicates is a lot of difficulties in those relationships, right? People who
Mhm.
don't fulfill their end of the deal, for example, or people who tell you one thing, but then they change their mind, right? It's also in air signs. So you can imagine there's things changing pretty quickly. Business is changing, relationships are changing. What the other companies are telling you is changing, right? So having to deal a lot with depending on other people and them following through with what they said that they would do. And at the end of the day, you experiencing most of the pain and the poverty because Saturn sits in your fourth house, exactly as you read, right? Because the fourth house is about how you feel internally inside yourself, what's happening to you privately.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, that you always feel impeded. Okay. The other thing is if I bring in Jupiter, and you notice that Jupiter is on your midheaven, right? So at the highest point of your chart, basically. And
Mm.
Jupiter, of course, is the very opposite energy from Saturn, right? Saturn is contraction, feeling small, feeling tight, feeling things are challenging, being frustrated. Jupiter is the opposite. Jupiter is when things go well, when things are flowing, when you feel on top of the world.
Mhm.
And so I see this opposition, but I especially feel Jupiter in your 10th because you're the businessman, right? So you have big ideas. And in terms
Yeah.
of like education and where you are in Malawi, I guess hierarchically, you're higher up already in the fact that you're a landowner and that you're
Mhm.
doing this big business and you plan on going even bigger, right? So you want to be a leader, I see almost politically, right? Because in order to get healthy meals everywhere in Malawi, you would need to have more of a reputable position. right? So having an
Exactly.
interest in becoming more reputable, right? Jupiter and Leo in the
Mhm.
midheaven. Does this all resonate so far?
It does
Okay.
very much.
Okay. There you can see how these three planets are working together, right? But only as far as we've gotten, because the more we talk, the more you're going to understand. So I'm going to take off Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn for a moment. I'm going to move to your moon and Mars in Cancer.
Mhm.
So obviously, Cancer has to do with care, which can be care for the people, which can be about feeding everyone and feeding them well,
Exactly.
right? So learning how to produce food and how to distribute it, that's where we get into the ninth house. And now you said something very interesting. You said that it used to be that you would provide fertilizer. And that
Mhm.
is also the Moon Mars conjunction in Cancer, because fertilizer is what? It's like liquid that you put on the plants and it drains into the soil, right? So it's all the
Mhm.
chemicals, but it is in order to speed up and to improve the process of agriculture, right? So there's
Yeah.
Mars, the speed, but there's also Mars, the chemicals, okay? However, you can see that right now there is Jupiter in your ninth house transiting conjunct your moon and Mars. That's been happening over the last year. So here you said that over the past year, you have decided to stop using fertilizers because you did some research and you found out that it's really not good and you prefer to do organic practices. Right. So when
Mm.
you become more intelligent, when your intellect increases and you become smarter, or you have a different perspective or a new vision on something, that's the ninth house. And in your case, the growth you're experiencing, at least so far, what we've talked about, what I heard, is you stop to use fertilizers because they're chemical. So there's the Jupiter transit over your moon and Mars.
Mhm.
Okay, does that all make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But on that one, on that point, or that point, please come again just shortly. And the very last part, I was distracted a little
The very last part. It's about Jupiter
bit.
transiting your ninth house Cancer. And so, what are
Okay.
you studying? You're studying more about food production and understanding how to produce food. Right? In your case, you don't want to use chemicals, you want to do organic. So, you're moving away from the fertilizer. Right? So, that change in perspective is the nature of Jupiter transiting your ninth Cancer.
I hear you.
Okay? Good. Okay, so does it all make sense so far?
Yes, please. I
Okay.
resonate that. Mhm.
Now I have another question because you had said that you have been having health issues in your life. Is that right?
Health issues, not necessarily. My experience, maybe I'll say I've experienced an up and down kind of life. I haven't, in a long time, I haven't experienced being stable financially. I'll be stable for some months and then things go down again, some months, something like
Okay. So that's kind of your
that.
big concern, is it? The financial instability?
Yeah, but after I started to take interest in astrology, I understood something that if I align myself well and I know what to do, these other things will follow. So that's when I started to pursue my dreams, like the farming thing. I'm not really worried about the money thing because I know it's coming to light because pretty soon I'll be enjoying its fruits. I know, but um, okay. My concern has been how do I get this dream out to bring answers to health issues that I experience in my life because I've seen a lot of issues being experienced. Having worked in the hospital before, some years back in 2014, I've seen a lot of stuff, and then I'm like, most of our issues are caused by um, uh, unhealthy meals, not living food, something like that. That's when I took this passion, and I'm like, let me pursue it. So
Wait, it's
my
sorry.
struggle,
Most of it is sorry. Can you repeat that?
okay, so most of my struggle has been on the financial side to get grounded. Uh, that side that has been my struggle, but the healthy side it has been. me seeing life from other people, not necessarily myself experiencing health issues.
Uh-huh. Okay, so seeing the issues that other people are having.
Yes, around me, those people that I care about. So I've seen it that most people having health issues because of eating unhealthy meals. So people don't know what they're eating. They don't know their food, I would say, in the right way. They don't know what to
Uh-huh. So it's bad education, that's what you were saying. So you want to educate people.
educate people on that side only. So which is our food? What is our food? What do we need in our bodies? Something like that.
Uh-huh. Very interesting. Okay, and you said that the people closest to you, so you're talking about your family eating poorly, or?
Yeah, like I have my sister. So we are three in our family. I'm the firstborn. So I have my sister. My sister, I think in 2016, it's not 17, she was diagnosed with diabetes. So she has been diabetic from 2016. So after doing my research, as I love studying, I love knowledge. So after I was doing my research, and then I found that it's due to having unhealthy meals. So when I understood that, I took that interest, and then I saw that a lot of people are suffering because of meals. Most of the diseases can be treated if we eat properly.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, in my opinion, there's a few things going on. First of all, you're talking about your Moon Mars conjunction in the ninth house Cancer. Because Cancer is about feeding, right? Eating, nourishing.
Okay.
And in your case, that your Cancer placements are sitting in the ninth house, right? The ninth house is the house of study, the house of understanding, the house of learning, the house of competence. And so, what are you interested in studying? You're interested in studying food, meals. What are people eating? Yeah. And why is that food causing people diseases? Why are people becoming sick? Right. So, there's the
Mhm.
Moon Mars conjunction, Mars being the sickness. And in this case, just notice even that what made you do the research is because your sister got sick with diabetes. Right. So, there's the moon. Again, that's your sister conjunct Mars, someone who is sick. And that makes you research. They're sitting in the ninth house so that you understand more about food. There's Cancer. So, do you see how that all works together?
Yes, beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful. Making sense, yeah.
And so, yeah, that you love to learn and that you love to study. It's because of your Moon Mars conjunction in the ninth. But
Okay.
I would also say, I mean, there's many other places you can see it, but I would also point out the Venus Saturn trine again. In this case, what's important, Agonjetsi, is not that it's a trine, but it's Venus and Saturn making an aspect to each other. So in this case, when you say, for example, the people closest to you, that's Saturn in the fourth,
Mm-hmm.
and they're struggling so much, right, with what they eat, for example. There's Venus, that's the pleasure. But even
Mm-hmm.
more than that, I would say that is your inability to become financially stable. Because Venus is
Mm-hmm.
about, yeah, things going well, having enough money. And Saturn is the one to prevent you from having something or always limit you. Like there's a low ceiling that he doesn't let you break. And so you always have to do with less. Less money, for example, less agreeable people. Yeah, so that you constantly have to face that situation where organizations that you have some kind of contract with end up not doing the contract, right? And there's your also your debt, right? Because the eighth house is the house of debt, taking on debt, borrowing money from people, having to owe people, feeling very responsible for the money.
Wow. Ah, this is broad, man. Okay.
Right?
Nice.
It makes
Interesting.
sense when you start to, okay,
It does. Like I can clearly see through my eyes.
okay, good.
Mm.
What is your everyday life like? Are you very active? Are you a very high energy person who is like, come on, let's do it?
Yeah. I am very active. Like my day starts early in the morning, like around half 4:30 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll do some exercises. I love some breathe exercises mostly. So and then I grab a chapter depending on my interest. So if I'm studying something, a certain subject, I'll grab a chapter, I'll get a book. Mostly in a book, I finish a book in a week. So I'm a reader. And then I get to work with my ideas. I have a small team, maybe made up of 4 people around me that I rely on. So yeah, it's mostly you do this, I do this, something like that. But I'm very mobile. We don't have a fixed place mostly. I don't like being stationed at one place. I enjoy being moving up and down, like being mobile. And then apart from that, mostly I'm home. I'm doing things from home. I love being at a place where I'm alone. I don't like being disturbed. So I enjoy um, solitude. I enjoy solitude. I enjoy being alone most of the time.
Okay. So there's a few things.
Yeah.
And this time I would especially point out your sun at 29 degrees of Aries in the sixth house,
Mhm.
right? Because the sixth house is your daily life, like being awake and getting things done in the day.
Mhm.
And you have the sun in Aries there, right? So
Yes.
immediately there's where you get somebody who wakes up very early, 4:30 in the morning. You do exercises straight away, and then you're busy the whole day. You don't like to be stationed in one place. You like to move up and down,
Mhm.
right? So being very active, generating a lot of energy, working a lot, doing a lot of physical labor, a lot of exuding energy, right? So there is the sun in Aries in the sixth.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Does.
Okay.
So it's about getting to work, getting things done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
see.
again, that you said that every day you grab a
Mm-hmm.
chapter of whatever it is you're reading,
Mm.
right? And you like to read, you're a reader. So there is your
Yeah,
moon in
man.
the ninth house, because the moon is also about what you do in your private time, like where you like to spend your time. So the moon is in the ninth house, in the house of learning. Therefore, having a book all the time, studying something all the time, even the astrology that you love to understand, moon in the ninth house.
Okay. I see.
Okay. Right. And there you can
Mhm.
also see that your sun in the sixth and the moon in the ninth are connected. Right. So you can think
Mm.
about, okay, so part of this is like learning about farming, and the other part of it is like going and actually doing it, making it happen, which requires a lot of energy, a lot of work every single day.
Mhm. Right on point.
It also makes me think about how, for the most part, at least up until now, the things that you produce are all dry goods, right? Because Aries is a fire sign. And you produce beans, which are dry, rice, which is dry, and what was it? Ground nuts. So that makes me think about all the things that grow in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then also that you like your solitude is again Saturn in your fourth house.
Oh, that's against Saturn.
Well, it can be many places, but yeah, in the first place, I feel it is Saturn because the fourth house is the house of being very private, being alone.
Mm. Yeah, I enjoy being alone. Like most of the time, I don't find it hard being alone.
Yeah. And what's the situation like with your family? Do you live alone at home?
Uh, no, I'm married. I have a wife and a kid. Um, so I also have in the city. I stay close to my mom. It's like same area, maybe just a few kilometers away from my place. Um, We have a very good relationship. Yeah, and all my sisters. Like I said, I'm the firstborn, and I have two sisters. So all of them, we're having a very good relationship. The last born is a Libra sign.
What did you say? The last what?
Last born, my last born sister, the little sister, my little sister, not the younger one, but the little one.
What about her?
I'm saying she's a Libra sign, sun sign.
What is Abla?
Libra, Libra.
Ah, Libra, Libra, Libra. Okay, okay, uh-huh. Okay. Sure. Why do you bring that up? That she's a Libra?
I understood that she is my opposite. So
Uh-huh.
yes, so I'm like,
Uh-huh.
why? Why am I having my opposite in the same family, or something like that? And my close friend is a Libra too, and we've been friends since 2010 until now, very close.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what is happening with your family now? Because I'll point out why I'm asking.
Okay. Oh, what is happening in my family?
You can see
So,
that Pluto is transiting your fourth house and your Saturn. Actually, this Pluto transit to your Saturn, for me, is why all of your business dealings have failed, and you're once again in a very bad position financially. Um, and so I feel like this situation can go on, but that makes me feel like there's something else, like you're about to start a new business or about to, there's something going on. So what's going on?
okay. Like lately, I've been working on teaching. So I'm also teaching people. Uh, like I've opened a coaching, like a coaching institution, something like that, a consultancy. So I'm trying it out. I I share my research findings with people. So right now, I'm about to start something ESP, but before that, I wanted to know the people I can trust, I can work with. So as a way of doing that, I have opened like something like a coaching session, which is running from March to August this year. So we are studying something that's biology and also other subjects.
Okay. When you tell me about the coaching, what I especially feel, once again, is Jupiter that is transiting your ninth house. Because the ninth house is the house of teaching. So working with
Yeah,
people and training them in something. Yeah. So and then you can see that up until August, Jupiter is going to transit to your midheaven, and then you're going to have your Jupiter return in Leo. So that also makes me think about the coaching. Maybe that's going to go further after August. Maybe you're going to have a bigger idea about what to make with it. But okay, we're not that far. Okay, so you have the
uh,
coaching business. You want to work with people. Very good. And yeah, that also makes me think about. Just tell me if it's too complicated and you don't understand. Okay.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm able
Okay.
to follow through.
The other part is if you notice the transit of Saturn, Saturn is now at
Mhm.
5 degrees of Aries. And so he's
Yes.
making a sextile to your natal Saturn at 6 degrees of Aquarius and your natal Venus at 7 degrees of Gemini. Okay. So when you talk with people and you have conversations with them and you're teaching them and it's like a nice easygoing talk, that's Venus and Gemini, right? Because Gemini is about mirroring with someone, talking with someone, communicating with someone. Whereas Venus is
Mhm.
like having a nice conversation. Yeah.
Oh,
But Saturn is when you are very serious, you're trying to get something accomplished. You have a business relationship, and there should be some kind of outcome that you're producing, right?
yes.
So, this transit of Saturn in between your Venus and Saturn is what I see you're doing right now. You've opened up coaching slots and you're working with people and you're trying to figure out for yourself how can you do that moving forward,
Mhm.
right? So, that's a training period for you as well. So there I
Okay.
feel the Saturn Venus connection because that's happening right now.
Hmm.
Okay.
Like that's what's happening right now. Yeah, I'm waiting on that.
Okay, one more question. What about your actual business? Is there any updates on your businesses?
Uh, like at the moment, I can say we are off. Okay, I can say we are off season. Simply because most of the produce is not out ready, is not ready yet, is not ripe, like from the fields. So yeah, you're done. Okay, so I can say we are off season in business, like agri business. We are off season. I like one thing I can say the product that we have is groundnuts. We only have groundnuts in stock, so most of it is gone until somewhere around May, mid-May, and then we'll be back in agribusiness.
Mm-hmm. So for now, there's nothing. Now it's
Yeah,
more
for now,
like study and teach and work with
yes.
people.
Mhm.
Okay. And what's going to happen with your agribusiness once you're back in May?
When you're back, so we'll be back into supplying rice to hotels, supplying groundnuts to main shops around the city.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I forgot one thing. Like last year, I started bee farming, um, but it's far from where I live, so it's been months. I had to pay visit, so I think this year I'll follow up on that one. Um, that'll be around May as well. So after that, and then we'll see what will happen.
The bee farming. Okay. Um, I want to point out again, kind of lastly. So a lot of our conversation, Agonjetsi, I felt was happening in the Venus Saturn trine. And I want to again just point it out to you. Because this last point that you made was very interesting. You said that
Mhm,
once you start the agribusiness, you need to supply rice to hotels and supply
mhm.
groundnuts in shops around the city. So what that tells me is that you have pretty serious business dealings and your city depends on you. Like you have some responsibilities at that level, at a bigger level. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you work with shops and you work with hotels, obviously you work within the whole city infrastructure. Okay. So there is again Saturn in your fourth house, Aquarius. That in your city, you're not just a normal citizen, but you're a person who is moving produce around, right? So the city becomes your responsibility. And
Mhm,
specifically, you're supplying them with goods, with rice and
mhm,
with groundnuts, right? And so there's Venus in the eighth house because they depend on you. You guys are doing constant trade together, right? So this trade business that you have in the city is the Venus Saturn trine in air signs.
mhm.
And all the difficult situations and all the good situations that arise from that is here as well. Your
Yes.
entire relationship to the city infrastructure and to doing business with everyone that's there, with the hotels and the shops, that is your Venus Saturn trine, right? And it's
Okay.
constantly operating.
Okay.
Okay. I know it's kind of, I think it's a lot of information to take in, right? Because when you work with your chart, there's so much to think about and talk about and learn about. So, it can take some time to connect all the pieces, right? In 1 hour, we can only go so far. But the
Mhm.
question is like, what do you think about yeah, everything we've talked about?
Okay. It makes sense. Like big time, I resonate. I do resonate, and also I have something to start from. Mm, I would love to like to continue like the later stage. So I don't know if there's time. If we still have more time, we can reschedule and see from where we have stopped and then pick up from there.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording for now, and then you and I are gonna talk for a few more minutes. Okay. So, to everyone that's listening, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of Planets and People. Okay.